Okay, so in light of Redwood Springs and now Lindsay Gardens, what are we doing at our South Campus skilled nursing facility to ensure that that doesn't happen for our patients?
Right. So on Court Street, we have a 54-bed skilled nursing facility. I think roughly 32 of those beds are also licensed as subacute. So oftentimes those patients are ventilator dependent. They've suffered, a major catastrophic injury, a major stroke, can't breathe on their own. So many of those patients are on ventilators. We've been very fortunate. I shared in one of my very initial meetings with all of you that almost on day one, when we started seeing an outbreak in Tulare County, we locked that facility down. And as difficult of a decision as it was, we instituted a no visitor policy for that entire facility. So unless a loved one was literally on the edge of death, we would not let any outsiders in there. We also we screen our employees every single day at that facility. So when they arrive for work or if they leave the facility and come back, we screen them, we take their temperature, we go through the normal symptom check. And if any employee were to exhibit symptoms, they would not come into the building and they would be sent home to quarantine as well. Also, it'll be 2 weeks yesterday, we instituted, mandated that every single one of our employees has to wear a mask. And I just shared with you, I've only taken mine off for this brief time that I'm with you. And you can see Deborah and I aren't sitting next to each other anymore. So as soon as this recording's over, I'll put that mask back on. But the folks in the skilled nursing facility, they're all wearing masks to make certain that they're protected and that they protect the patients as well. I think the team over there is practicing awesome hand hygiene techniques, which is the most important thing you can do. They wash their hands frequently, going in and out of rooms. They know to do that. They're wiping things down constantly, disinfecting everything that they possibly can that they come into contact with. We have not had a single patient in that 54-bed facility contract the virus. So that's wonderful news to hear, but they're just doing a great job.
Okay. So how many Kaweah Delta employees have tested positive?
So we have 5,000 employees across the entire organization. Again, as I've shared with you in past meetings, a few hundred of them are working from home right now, those that really did not need to be here to fully perform their jobs. And so they're at home. Our wonderful IT department got them all set up where they can link in to all the applications and information they need here at work. So they're working at home effectively, obviously staying out of harm's way. But those employees that, particularly that are in the acute medical center, working on the front lines, whether it's in the ICU or 3 West or 2 South or down in the emergency department, while we are exercising an abundance of caution and taking all the universal precautions, we have had 19 of our 5,000 employees have tested positive for the virus. They've all been sent home. They're all quarantining at home. And in fact, 2 of those employees, 2 of the initial ones that were quarantined, have now fully recovered and are back at work. And both of them have been tested, and they've tested negative. So right now, we have 17 of our employees that are at home right now. None of our employees have been hospitalized. And again, we just continue to ramp up just our precautionary work, definitely going to the universal masking a couple weeks ago. And again, our mantra of washing your hands constantly. We are doing pretty well on personal protective equipment. As of this morning, and we get daily reportings on this, we have 115,000 masks. 52,000 of them are N95 masks, and another 63,000 are the standard surgical masks. We also have 67,000 pairs of gloves, 9,700 isolation gowns, 2,800 face shields, and 411 goggles. And so any employee that is potentially going into a higher risk area, certainly all the employees on 2 South are wearing all of the appropriate PPE to protect them. And as more PPE comes available, then we can kind of slow down our reuse and extended use so that we're able to give, fresher N95 masks. In fact, we have a committee that's been meeting all this week to see how could we potentially ramp up the availability of this PPE, just because we have a little bit more of it right now.
Right, okay, thank you. So if a person is social distancing and they're following all the rules, how would the virus still get into their homes?
Well, first, excellent practice of the social distancing, but the virus can live on things. It's generally transmitted by microscopic droplets. So originally, when the pandemic broke out, a lot of folks were very worried that it was airborne. But the CDC, a lot of scientific study moved away from the airborne belief to the droplets. And so that's why the masking is so important to protect that. Even a cloth mask or a surgical mask keeps droplets from, if you cough or you sneeze. So we try to keep those in, but when somebody does cough, it can land on a surface. And if you touch a surface that virus is still alive on and then touch your face, you potentially could have infected yourself. So that's why we also say it's not just social distancing. You've got to be constantly washing your hands and trying not to touch your face.
And that's difficult. We touch our faces a lot.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably more so now than,
now that we're trying not to
it
touch
is
our
hard, but yeah, so you just got to be, always vigilant, do all those things. Again, the social distancing, washing your hands, not touching your face, just being extra cautious.